Hello everyone, this is Jinx from the Monster Hunter Math Guys. So we are still working on the Elemental and Status Lance sets for the meta series, however those will take a little bit longer because there is a lot of builds and math to crunch. In the meantime, at the premiere for yesterday's video on the meta raw lance set, someone brought up something interesting I want to talk about, which is the Kulu Yaku Lance. Now, just to clarify, the Kulu Yaku Lance does not beat any of the meta raw options, and we'll show why in a bit. However, it does hold a very unique niche that is very important to cover for Lance specifically, which is that it is the best transitional lance. Now, we don't normally cover transitional sets in the meta series because we already have a video talking about the best transitional set to use post-story. This is basically a Shara weapon set with Master's Touch. Now, you can just run the Shara Lance post-story, however, Lance has a unique factor that makes it different. As we covered in yesterday's video, Lance needs to run Health Augment. And for every single meta weapon, you cannot get Health Augment until after MR 100 because they are rarity 12 weapons. So what do? Well, this is where the Kulu Yaku Lance comes into play because it is just barely weaker than a lot of the meta options, but it is rarity 10. And it being rarity 10 means it can get Health Augment the fastest you can get a Master Rank Health Augment weapon, which is MR 50. This is the soonest that you can get a Master Rank Health Augment, and you need to have Tempered Odogaron parts from the Guiding Lands in order to get it. Now, you cannot get Tempered Odogaron until MR 50 because you have to have a level 5 Rotten Veil for him to spawn. While you're at it, you also need non-tempered Radaban parts from the Guiding Lands, and you also need Spirit Vein Slog Bones, which come from Tempered T1, so aka a Tempered Radaban in the Guiding Lands, and then you also need the Fluvial Frenzy Bones, which you get from Rotten Veil Bone Piles. Basically, just farm the crap out of the Rotten Veil Guiding Lands. Now, before you can get this MR 50 Health Augment, your choices are either to not run Health Augment, in which case you should run a Guard 5 set. This will reduce the chip damage, which is helpful, or just run a high rank Health Augment weapon. Unfortunately, this will lead to quite a bit of decrease in damage. But what is the set we should run on a Kulu Yaku Lance until we can get a meta Lance set with Health Augment? Well, as a general set to aim for, this is what we're looking at. This set does assume you don't have any God tier decos like offensive guard attack decos, double attack decos, double agitator decos, etc. And we're also going to assume you've at least farmed up enough high rank decos to have the weakness exploit and crit boost decos you need to fill this out. Now, we are running crit boost and weakness exploit combo decos here, but if you don't have those, just fill them out with regular crit boost and weakness exploit decos. Now, you won't have a Guard 5 charm yet, but you will be able to at least get a Guard 3 charm before even starting Master Rank. If you still want to run Guard 5 without having a Guard 5 charm, just sub out 2 of the attack decos for Iron Wall decos and sub out a 3rd attack deco for an expert deco to make sure you're still hitting 100% affinity. Now, optimally for augments, we of course run a Health Augment. This is your #1 priority, and then we just stack 2 attack augments after that because this already has 25% affinity. We have 1 augment slot left over, so we just throw it into defense at that point. And this does have custom upgrades, we just throw all 6 of those into attack. Although by the time you're able to get the slots upgraded to let you fit all of these augments, you should be just switching over to the Runa no Gigante Lance with Health Augment at that point. Now, if you don't have 4 attack decos, just switch them out for Crit Eye decos as well as some Vitality or whatever you want in there. And if you don't have this Guardian deco, which you likely won't if you haven't farmed Tempereds unless you got really lucky, you can just switch this out for Agitator or another attack boost or whatever you want. It's really a placeholder skill, but Guardian is the optimal deco to put in there if you got lucky and got one. Now, for the Teostra armor, you can get this before the story even ends if you get some Teostra investigations while picking up tracks. You can get the young Garuga legs right after the story ends by farming up the ancient forest in the Guiding Lands. The Guild Palace requires you to do some arena quests in order to get it. It requires a Hero King coin, it requires 2 Zenogra coins, 2 Black Belt coins, and some Deora Hardclaws, which you just get from Master Rank Kushala. The Black Belt coins come from any of the earlier Master Rank arena quests, and the Hero King coin as well as the 2 Zenoga coins can come from the Zenoga arena quest. Not the special arena, but the actual arena. Now, the Guild Palace arms are particularly nice for a transitional set because they give us 2 offensive guard. The meta sets do require you to have combo offensive guard and attack or expert decos, which are fairly rare. Offensive guard is a huge damage increase to Lance once you get used to perfect blocking, so we definitely want to run this as soon as possible. This is going to be a very strong set to run until you can get a Runa no Gigante Lance with Health Augment. Now, if you don't even have the Tenderizer and Crit Boost decos to make this set work, there is this poverty set, but it just loses so much. Now this set only uses armor pieces you can get before the story ends or right after it. And between the armor pieces and charm, we do get 3 weakness exploit, 2 crit boost, 2 crit eye, and also guard 3. Until MR 100, your guard charm cannot hit guard 5, so this is going to be a guard 3 charm instead. Now you do get an expert plus deco during the story, so plus another expert deco, which is very common, you will hit 100% affinity. And then if you have them, we throw in a shield deco as well as an elementalist deco and a critical deco to increase our damage by a bit. Again, not having tenderizer and crit boost decos really limits our build options. Now I did mention earlier that the Kulu Lance cannot beat any of the meta options, so let's take a quick look at that. So with a fully optimized full guard deco, full guard 3 set, it does actually hit exactly the same EFR as the Runa no Gigante Lance set in the previous video. Even though the Runa no Gigante Lance has 290 natural true raw and this has 260, between the 2 attack augments as well as the 6 attack customs, this hits 276 base true raw. Throw in the 5% from non-elemental boost and this hits 289.8, which rounds up to 290. And compared to the Runa no Gigante Lance, this does have attack boost 6, so 1 lower, but it does have agitator 5, which is 1 higher, which means it should have 1 more true raw compared to the Runa no Gigante set. But non-elemental boost raw does not count as base true raw, which is what offensive guard multiplies. It basically works out that the Kulu Lance ends up having the exact same true raw when both have offensive guard and has 1 more true raw when they don't, which might make it sound like it's better, but 1 more true raw on a low motion value weapon like Lance will almost never round up to an extra point of damage. And the Runa no Gigante Lance gets dragon damage, so even against dragon immune monsters, it'll be dealing the same damage as the Kulu Lance, but against anything with any dragon weakness, it'll deal more damage. On top of that, this has around half the sharpness that the Runa Lance does. Now 60 or 110 with 100% affinity and Master's Touch is still way too much sharpness, but still. There's also the fact that the Kulu Lance relies too much on stacking multipliers compared to the Runa Lance to compete. This means its guard 5 with guard up set ends up being weaker than the Runa no Gigante's before even factoring in dragon damage. Now it is only 1 true raw weaker compared to the Runa no Gigante guard 5 with guard upset. But as you start subbing out more and more decos for things like health boost, divine blessing, recovery up, etc., it gets weaker and weaker relative to the Runa no Gigante Lance running the same skill loadout. Now at the end of the day, this is not a bad Lance, it's only within a few percents lower compared to the Runa no Gigante Lance. But the Runa no Gigante Lance is objectively better for damage output for more flexible builds because it also has more white sharpness in pretty much every area except that it takes longer into the end game for you to get a health augment on it. The Runa no Gigante Lance is a direct upgrade, albeit a small upgrade. And at the end of the day, if you don't feel like farming up a Runa no Gigante Lance with health augment, this will still work just fine. In Iceborne, they did a fairly good job making it so that all of the competitive options in the meta are within a few percents of each other. Easy game! Play how you want. Alright, thank you so much for checking out the video. If you have any friends who are looking for a nice transitional or poverty set for Lance, be sure to share the video with them. And if you yourself enjoyed the video, be sure to let us know by liking the video and letting us know in the comment below. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't normally do these kinds of transitional poverty sets, so let us know what you thought in the comments. Thank you as always to Honey over at honeyhunterworld.com for creating and maintaining the tools we use to make our sets with and all of these beautiful build cards. And a huge thank you again to our friend Butz. He is the speedrun you see in the background for this video. Talking with him has been invaluable in helping me understand what works well with Lance in Iceborne. Even though I can crunch as much math as I want and make as many builds as I want, I won't know if they are practical to use in real hunt situations if it were not for him. Be sure to check out his channel, link in the top right and the description. Also, be sure to check out our Discord server, the Mathlos Nest, if you'd like to meet some like-minded hunters of all different skill levels to hunt with or come chat. Just please keep all Iceborne specific talk to the Iceborne specific channels so our PC players can avoid spoilers. And don't forget to check out our Twitter where we post updates about videos and general things that interest us, and be sure to check out Tuna live on Twitch almost every single day. And of course, none of this would be possible without the generosity of our patrons. And especially big thank you to our new patrons Adam Ross, Jason BKX, Melvin Tan, and Robert Hall. It really is amazing how many of you are willing to support us directly. It really means a lot because our videos do frankly take a lot of research time to put together, which makes it a lot more difficult to play the YouTube game where you upload videos every single day. So thank you again for enabling us to continue putting out the kind of content you guys love. And just a quick reminder, the patrons are currently voting on what weapon will be the next in the meta series after we're finished with Lance. It is currently a pretty tight race between Dual Blades, Hunting Horn, and Raw Charge Blade. Remember, every single patron, regardless of how much you pledge, is allowed to vote on these polls. Alright, that is everything we have for this video. We do have the Elemental Lance sets as well as the Status Lance sets coming out soon, as well as a variety of other Monster Hunter World Iceborne contents. If you'd like to see those as soon as they go live, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, that way YouTube will let you know as soon as any new video comes out. Happy hunting, hunters, see you on the next one, bye!